How much importance do we put on math in our lives? Well, try building the Hoover Dam without math. Or try landing on the moon. Neither of those would have been done without math calculations. So, the next time a student asks, why do we have to take math in school? You know the answer. The competition known as Mathletes was started in 1968 and consisted of 32 high schools in the Philadelphia area. Monsignor Bonner was far and away the best. Bonner Mathletes were division winners 13 times in the first 19 years and won 11 championships. When not winning, they came in either second or third. The competition became so popular that each school was allowed to enter 2 teams. And for 10 years, the Bonner B team finished second to Bonner's A team. Now, here's Rob Ellis.
We are sitting here present day in a Bonner-Prendy classroom, what used to be a Bonner classroom, now Bonner-Prendy classroom. And we have a great mix of folks. By the way, I'm Rob Ellis, class of 1989, and we are here with a great mix of both past and present. We start with the legend himself, Mr. Ralph Celedonia. Ralph, good to see you. Liz Farron, who's the head of the department and takes care of things right now here at Bonner-Prendy. And of course, Matt McShane, who does an unbelievable job with the Mathletes, and another legend. It's, as he told me earlier, no, I'm just kidding. Good to see you.
Well, I would have if you gave me an opportunity.
Exactly right. You know, once a Bonner guy, you throw me in jug in 2 seconds right now. But, so I want to start with you, Ralph, and
Sure.
this, because you and Fran obviously were guys who were laying the foundation for this unbelievable math department that we've had here over the years, initially Bonner, now Bonner-Prendy. Talk to me a little bit about when you first started with the school, what the reputation maybe was for the math department, and where it kind of grew, and the Mathletes, which we'll get into, and your experiences.
Well, it's funny, but in college I was an English major. And,
No kidding.
So I came up to Bonner to try and get a job, and they said all the English positions were taken. I said, well, I was always good at math. I'd try math. And it was a need for teachers so bad. I mean, you didn't have to worry, you know.
Yeah.
So I started teaching math, and for 4 years I had Algebra 1. So I learned Algebra 1 pretty well.
No kidding.
And you know, and I enjoyed it. I liked it. And 2 years later, Vince Donahue came. For the next 45 years or so, he stayed as the head of the department, and the department grew under him. And I would say with the Mathletes, you know, everybody just thought it was a joke, you know, but then people got interested in it, and then they wanted to be on the Mathletes,
Yeah.
and they were winning. So that's, you know,
Well,
you win and you get people coming in.
Fran, let's talk about it. So Ralph brings up the influence that Vince had. Can you just talk about your experience with Vince during your time and the way that he kind of grew this thing into what it is today?
Well, when I came here, you know, we had a very good math department. They were the centers of it, I thought. And they were like the pros. I was like, you know, AAA. You know,
You get your call up.
you know. They had a convention down at wherever teachers have their conventions. And I went down.
Teacherville.
And Ralph and Vince were talking in the afternoon.
Right.
And so I hung around and I thought, what are these guys talking in the afternoon? They should have been given the keynote address. They're two of the best teachers in the Archdiocese, and they probably have some doofus educational hack up there talking. So anyway, they said something that I always remember. It was like their philosophy. And the philosophy was, don't tell me what you taught them, show me what they learned. And that always stayed with me. What a great saying. I mean, that could be in every teacher's lounge in the country. Don't tell me what you taught them, show me what they learned.
I want to bring it into present day. Liz, you can, obviously, it's a different situation now because we're combined now with the boys and the girls. So just talk to me a little bit about the foundation that was kind of laid by a lot of these guys and where we are today.
Vince was the department chair, so I was lucky that I was able to work with Vince for a number of years and be in his department. And I learned a lot from him, and to this day, he still continue to try and live up to the expectations that he set.
Well, I know you got the chance to just outside of the classroom too a lot of times.
Yeah. We were saying how one of the best days of the year, he would treat the math department at the end of the school year and take us all out, and we all look forward to it. And you got to hear the famous stories from years past, and then hopefully we can continue in that tradition that he set.
Mathletes have been around since 1968. Started right around
Yes.
that time. So we're a pretty good
Long
run.
time. That's right.
More than 50 years. When did you guys realize, wow, we got something here?
It didn't take too long. The first 15 or 20 years there, for the division that we were in, we won it about 13 of those 19 times. For the championship, they won it about 11 times. So it was pretty obvious that something was happening good at Bonner.
What do you think not to knock the other schools, but what do you think separated Bonner from O'Hara, Carroll? Notice I got O'Hara in there first.
Well, first, I think
I don't know.
I know.
It's all right.
It was the boys wanted to do well, and I say the boys because it was all boys, and they wanted to do well, and once they start winning, then they wanted to continue that. They did win, and they were expected to win. That was Vince's attitude. You know what this stuff is. You got to do it, and they did win.
And Fran, you came in, obviously, like you said, when you got your call up from AAA, you were ready for the majors, but you came in a little later. This thing was already rolling. What was your sense of just the Mathlete competition and how good Bonner was during that time?
Oh, the kids were great. The kids were great, and I consider myself a professional chauffeur. I mean, I took the kids in the meet. I used to get a big kick. I'd pull in with the guys, and they're clowning around, and all the other schools are there practicing. Those guys just shoot the breeze and everything until it started. Yeah. So it was, it was a good situation. Like I say, Ralph and Vince, they were the two of the best. I will tell you this because it tells you about the climate of. I did a little stand-up, and so I had an opportunity to go away for 2 months, or Turkey, Italy, Greece, and Spain, do a USO tour. I came in to see Ralph and Vince, and I said, listen, I have this opportunity. Now, I don't remember how I was approaching this, how nervous or anything like that, but I remember their reply. They thought it was like the greatest thing in the world. That it was a great you got to do it. It's a great opportunity. And so I went, and Ralph took one of my classes, and Vince took a class.
That's a great anecdote. Yeah. Matt, I want to bring you in because present day, you're the man in charge here.
Trying to do my best.
How much has the landscape changed now that we have boys and girls? When it was just back in the day, when these guys are referencing, it was an all boys school. How different is it? How's the competition level? What's it like now?
We have more girls that want to compete in Mathletes than we do boys currently, at least for this upcoming group. My motto with them is, if you have fun, you're here doing math problems after school once a week because you enjoy it, by all means, just go and have fun. Don't be nervous. Try your best. We'll see what we do. As long as we improve every time and try our best, that's kind of it. But just like Fran was saying, like our kids come in not nervous. Everyone else is chatting, doing problems. Our kids come in, relax, or like, we studied, we practiced on the bus, which again, I know what the chauffeur life is like. I always tell them, I don't care what the score is. As long as you're having fun and you're trying, that's really all that matters. And they keep coming back. Math is not everyone's favorite subject, and a lot of kids struggle with it. These kids are coming to do extra math on top of their work already. Right. I couldn't ask for anything more, and I don't think our department could ask for anything more.
That's very cool. So for those of us who weren't mathletes, can you give us an example of maybe a question that would be involved in these competitions? So take us inside of what's really what it's like.
Oh, I don't think that there weren't really difficult questions. There wasn't like there were mind by you needed something to look up to do it. No, it was just the normal activities that you have in your classroom. It could be an equation of a line. Is that something, to solve it?
Something behind us.
Yeah. Not quite that.
You don't like my work? I did this quickly. It's not about 2 minutes and all this stuff.
I was doing this when they came in.
I saw you wiping off the show. Well, Liz, too, just talk to me about what just present day Bonner Prendy math department, just what things are like, the challenges, what the strengths are, what it's like now.
I think we have a great, strong department, and that same kind of mentality where you say, step it in, we've all done that, and that's what I think is great to hear that. We have a great group that we're all willing to help each other. We work really well together, and we're all here for the kids. That's right. So, and I think that comes through, and I think the students see that when they come in our classroom, and I think that's what makes a difference. And we've, tried to continue that from what we've seen through the years.
Take the torch, right?
Yeah.
There's no question.
We haven't voted the favorite department a number of years in a row.
Favorite department.
Yeah, everyone's favorite. They always come. They're always in our
Not just
classroom.
self-nominated.
Exactly. It's always our department. The kids tell us all the time.
I believe you. All right. So other than your stand-up career, your side career that you had, I'm sure you had opportunities potentially to leave over the years. What made you stay at Bonner as long as you did?
I used to end my class. I don't think I went through a class where I didn't say, what time's this period over? I swear, every time. I mean, thousands of times. So the kids could not, you ever watch movies and the bell rings, the guys are up out of their class, those kids didn't move. And those kids are the greatest, and I hope they're having a great life because they deserve it.
Good. Well, Ralph, you how many years were you at Bonner?
42.
42 years. Now, same question. You probably had the opportunity to move on. What made you stay?
I say I'm probably one of the luckiest people around. You know, I've just been so lucky in my life. I've had great parents. I have a great wife, 60 years married now, and the children, and teaching at Bonner. I mean, it was, the kids brought the best out of me, let me put it that way. I just lit up when I went into the classroom.
How about you, Liz? What is it that makes it, such a calling for you?
So this will be my 19th year at Bonner, which I can't believe. I feel the same way, so lucky that I get to do this every day. I know there's a lot of people that go to a job that they don't enjoy, but I've been blessed to be able to do this for my entire career.
That's pretty cool. How about you, Matt?
This is going to be the start of my 7th year, so still young in the department, but I graduated from Roman. When I
We
graduated,
won't hold that against you.
It's fine, so everyone tells me that. When I graduated Temple, my goal was to get back to Roman because that was my place. I wanted to teach there. And then I went to a job fair where I met the principal at the time, Tracy Rush, who then said, come in, meet Liz Farron. She's going to love you. I said, all right. So I came in, met Liz, interviewed. She said, we'll definitely call you soon. And it was like 3 weeks or something goes by. and then I'm working a job that I was working through college over in Jersey at a warehouse. And I think you called me from the beach in Ocean City and you were like, what day can you come in? You've got the job. There was stuff was going on, whatever. And I haven't looked back. It's been the greatest time, 7 years. I got to come in and work with some of my best friends. I have my math mom, as we call her all the time. She runs a department. Bonner Prendy really has that family atmosphere. And we had the best faculty, I think, out of any school in the entire world.
Well, I'll go back to my days. I remember Mr. Smith and Sister Agnes, Mr. Vent, who was a legend. Give us some of the names of the people who helped build that math department.
Mr. Doherty, he was a hell of a teacher. We can start and stop right there.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Rich Bully was, Bob Vent,
Silvio
Maestro.
Silvio Maestro.
Like, Ralph, how about bailing him out? You got some more names you want to throw out there?
Oh, well, the whole idea that Vince wanted to get across to all the teachers, if you were a math teacher, you wanted to stress the fundamentals. And so I think the teachers overall that were part of this staff all were emphasized that you got to learn, you have to learn the algebra. You have to.
Was there any, do you guys recall, and take it into present day, if anybody who wants to jump in, any crazy anecdotes that went on during a Mathletes competition or anything that just stood out to you from even the classroom for any of you guys? Anything strange that you remember?
You mean stranger than I already said?
Well, you've set a high bar. Let's see if we can get over it.
I hate to bring this, but Jim McLaughlin, he's the guy that's running this thing tonight. So if you got lousy seats, you need to know.
Jim is the man for the Bonner Hall of Fame. Yes.
Jim was
Shout out to Mike Melvin as well.
Yeah, Jim was telling me.
And Jack Lacken.
Hey, come on, you're interrupting.
You had your time. All right, no.
I'm only kidding. But anyway, so Jim was telling me that he had Vince in senior, he had calculus, and he was planning on going to Drexel.
Right.
And he did not do well for Vince. He had marks in the 70s. And so toward the end of the year, Vince called him aside and said, listen, I know you're having problems with this, but you're going to do great at Drexel. And he did.
He crushed it at Drexel.
Yeah.
So let's put a bow on this list. So present day, just we know there can be struggles sometimes with Catholic high schools, et cetera. How are we doing? Everything good here at Bonner Prendy? Yeah.
Yes.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
Enrollment,
Enrollment's
everything?
great. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Our department's strong. I think
Yeah.
it's, yeah.
We have kids who are taking 4 years, and most of our students take 4 years of math, which is not required for the diocese. Really
Good problems to have.
Really good problems to have. And I think our freshman class this year is on track to be just as big as last year, which was the biggest
If
freshman
not
class.
bigger. We've just continued to grow.
Every year
since
we're
that
getting
year.
better and better.
Yeah.
So
It's a great thing. That is a great thing. All right, lastly, for you two guys, when you heard that the Mathletes in the math department were going to be honored at the Bonner Hall of Fame, what was your reaction?
Long overdue. They had a great record over the period of the 45, 50 years that they've had it. and recognition to Vince.
All right, well, listen, we appreciate everybody's time. It was a lot of fun just kind of reminiscing and bringing it into present day, that's for sure, but certainly a worthy honor for the Mathletes in the Bonner Prendy Math Department.
Speaking on behalf of the Mathletes is former mathlete Thomas Poligruto, class of 1995.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I would like to actually invite any mathletes that we have here to please join me on stage as we receive this award as a team. Remember, being a nerd is very cool these days, so feel free to just stand up. Come up here with me. All right, we have one, there we go. All right.
Joe Cassidy,
Tom, how are you?
75. Mike Curry said,
I'm only a backhand. You guys go.
but I didn't come up to speak.
Well, stay up here. Yeah, come on. All right. F of rat is rat squared. If you don't know what that means, you did not attend Vince Donoghue's classes at Bonner. That was how generations of students learned what a function was. If f of x is x squared, what is f of rat? It's rat squared. That simple sentence, as obtuse as it may sound, is the key to unlocking all of the power of mathematics. Functional theory and how it's used lays the foundation for so many things that we all do as scientists, as engineers, and in our everyday lives. Vince, and Mr. Donoghue to me, was absolutely inspirational in everything that he did, and his passion for teaching, as we kind of saw in the video, laid that foundation for the department and for the Mathletes themselves. I had the honor of being on the Mathletes for 2 years, in 1994 and 1995, and I could never have had the courage to have fun doing mathematics the way that I was able to do if it wasn't for the strong foundation laid here at Bonner. I failed Algebra 1 with Mr. Celedonia. It's odd to say as the person receiving the award for the Mathletes that you might hear me say that, but it is a true statement. I was injured playing football as a freshman, missed a lot of school, and got pretty far behind in Mr. Celedonia's class, which you don't want to do. It's a very difficult class, and he took time out to come to my house to help me with algebra. And even though it didn't work that first semester, it gave me the confidence that maybe I could actually do this and not get dropped out of his class and out of the tracks that I was in. I wanted to always make him proud of everything that I was going to be doing and not to fail his class and get to the front of that class. And as I went through Bonner, every single time I had to take a stop and look around at what was important, it kept coming back to that math department. I had Mr. Doherty, and then I had Mr. Donoghue for 2 years. But it was absolutely the basics, the foundations of everything that I was able to do in my entire life. And Mathletes was just without a doubt one of the most fun activities I had as a high school student. And to this day, I use that as inspiration for my own children, telling them about mathematical competitions and how it was fun. I have here the papers for the Mathletes Championship, April 3rd, 1995, that I saved for 26 and a half years. No idea why I saved these, aside from the fact that I was proud. I was able to contribute to my team and not only win for Bonner, but certainly to beat O'Hara. But that's a set aside. And the questions are really hard. And I'm looking at the questions now, and despite many years of advanced education, I struggled with a few of these questions that we were only given 10 minutes to do. We got 2.5 minutes per question times 2 sheets, right? So there's actually 2 sheets here with all the math questions on them. Absolutely amazing how fun this was, but the team problems were the most fun, and that's how the competitions worked. So Mathletes, you had individual competition, and then you had a team competition, and all the teams could sit down and collaborate, work on the problems, and then compete at both the individual level and at the team level. So I wanted to thank the nominating committee on behalf of all the mathletes and the entire math department. I do believe that this is something that is overdue. 26 years ago when I graduated, there's not a moment and not a year that goes by in anything that I do that I don't think back to all of you here at Bonner, my teachers, and all the camaraderie that we had. We were the best. We are the best. We're going to continue to be the best because of the wonderful teachers that we have and the passion that they have for everything that they do. Thank you very much.